Hey everybody, and welcome to my Why I Extra Life video that I'm creating here for my donation page. If you're used to listening to me from some of my other works, being the video podcasting that I do, or well, the audio video podcasting through the iRacing Today radio show, or through my video game streams, my previous works when it came to Nobody's Listening. This is going to be a bit different of a video. I've talked a bit about my family before on the show, because I love talking about my family, my kids, and my wife and stuff. So it's come up several times. So I'm going to get a little bit more into depth as to what's going on with me and exactly why it is that I'm doing Extra Life, and going to be hopefully playing some video games and raising some money for the Alberta Children's Hospital, which is where I live. As everybody, as if you know me from before, and if you don't, well, welcome. I have a wife and two young children, two daughters, 10 and 9. Our oldest daughter, Brianna, who I've done some podcasting with as well, so you've probably heard her voice if you've heard some of my stuff. Is a atypical child, and other than the occasional smashed tooth through a lip after falling off a chair, everything's been pretty normal and easygoing with her. Now, my youngest daughter, Mackenzie, is a bit of a different story. When Mackenzie was born dramatically, and I won't even get into that story, but let's just say it was not a long time we were in the hospital before we get to meet little Mackenzie. She was born and with what's called meconium, and that basically means that she had her first bowel movement within the womb before she came out, so she had some lung issues. That led to her being on oxygen for the first 3 months or so of her life. She was also jaundiced slightly, which is the thing where you have to go into baby tanning booths for a while because your skin's a bit yellow, and you need that to come out of that. Now, the biggest thing with Mackenzie was the fact that she was born also with Down syndrome. Now, we didn't know at the time, and we had no test that showed that was going to be the case, so it was kind of a surprise to us. But not, I mean, as I say, not a big deal, but it's always a big deal because it's going to be a change in lifestyle and how it's going to be raising the child. So we had to come to grips with that, so that we got on board with the Down syndrome team over at the Alberta Children's Hospital and spent a lot of time with them learning about how to work on developing her development needs through them. And they were an awesome team. It was a great bunch of people to work with there. Now, on top of that, about 2 years in to Mackenzie's life, we found out that her learning disabilities were a little bit, there was something else going on. They were more delayed than they should have been based on just the Down syndrome. And, we went through some tests, and she was diagnosed with autism as well. So as I like to say, my daughter has two owies because she has a Down syndrome and she has autism as well. Also, she also had a valve between the two parts, two halves of her heart that wasn't properly sealed. That is fortunately healed since then. On top of that, she also has several problems with her ears, which we were, as it came about throughout the years, there's a good chance that she's going to end up being probably deaf, and she'll definitely need a hearing aid moving forward. She's gone in several operations on the ears, and she'll have another one coming up in the next 4 or 5 months or so to work on that. So I say all that to kind of give you guys an idea as to our engagement with the Alberta Children's Hospital, and we spent a lot of time there, unfortunately, but it's been an integral part of Mackenzie's life growing up, spending time there and with the teams and the doctors and the surgeons. So I say all that to kind of give you an idea as to why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, obviously, working with children, especially with special needs or who require time in hospital, is a cause that's near and dear to my wife and mine's heart. It's something that we try to give back to as much as possible. Now, my wife spends time with the Ronald McDonald house, and if you're unfamiliar with that, that's almost a dorm-style kind of living quarters that is close to the hospital, in our case, kind of across the street. where families who are from out of town who have long-term care for their children will go in and they'll have a place to stay, kind of a place to wind down in order to get away from the stresses of being in the hospital, but still being close enough that they can be there whenever they need to be, kind of thing. Now, my wife will, through her church, will go in and cook meals for them, so that, one less thing to worry about. There's always a warm meal waiting for them, kind of thing. So she'll go in with her team, once every month or so, and do a meal for them. So that's the way that she gives back, because that's kind of her, something that she can do, and that's a special thing for her. That's not something that's really down my alley per se. So I discovered through the various means what Extra Life was doing, and decided that I could use my gaming and my streaming background to find a way to give back to to the Children's Hospital as well, and hopefully raise some money for them. So that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, obviously I'm doing it for Mackenzie and the care that she receives at the hospital, and will continue to receive moving forward, but also for the other families who have as big as our problems may be, there's always somebody who needs more help. Somebody who has bigger problems, and you got to put things in perspective. So anyway, that's a bit of a background. So hopefully you'll find it in your hearts to donate and help out the Children's Hospital and help out my family and the family of others. So thanks for visiting, and I hope you have some fun around here.